Oh my god.
Welcome. Let's
Oh my god.
let's double check the stream and make sure that we're actually on. Do you have it on your end? Can you check?
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. Can you hear yourself?
Oh, I can hear myself. Oh, it's
Oh
weird to
my
hear myself.
goodness. Hey everyone. So there are now 920 of you who I assume watch my videos while doing creepy things in the woods. And Adam is one of my best friends, one of my oldest friends. And who's texting me? Stop caring about me, whoever that is.
Now is not the time.
Now is not the time to want my affection or attention. So, Adam is someone I've known for a long time, and he is an Emmy winner, um, a twice over Emmy winner, and he was born that way though, so you can't really give him credit for that. That's like winning an Emmy is actually a genetic trait. It's skips generations, and
It was very difficult for my mother.
yeah, it made the birthing process very alien.
They said it was almost impossible.
Oh, we always have our first person. This is Edgar
Hey,
in the chat. Edgar, this is my buddy
hello.
Adam. Adam, Edgar is about 12 years old. so so Edgar, I'm gonna let you in a little secret. Adam and I have some somewhat adult conversations that sometimes occur. So you are
I
welcome.
think I think our friendship is longer than
His life, yeah.
Edgar's entire life.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my god. That is terrifying. Yeah,
think about that.
he and I met each other, Edgar. We became friends. We've been having these conversations, I should say, before you were cast out of the void into existence. And then one day, Adam and I will be cast into the void, and you will be having conversations with your friends. And that
Oh,
is the circle of life.
that sweet, delicious void.
So, Adam, tell everybody about your recent illness and all the phlegm you coughed up.
Honestly, the phlegm was the best part.
Yeah, I would imagine.
But yeah, no, I am mere hours outside of having conquered COVID. Oktoberfest edition. My wife and I, we went to Munich um, uh, prior to going to Amsterdam to celebrate our, I guess, yeah, 1 year anniversary for our wedding,
Hell yeah.
and we went to Oktoberfest and had an excellent time where we contracted the worst version of COVID that I've ever had in my entire life.
Oh, really?
Um, it was really bad. I remember just like I think it was like Sunday or Monday night. I was like, yeah, yeah, people will definitely die in this. I'm like,
Yeah.
this could be it. But no, Paxlovid, makes my mouth taste like a battery. But
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you know what they say, got COVID, Paxlovid, as per
oh
all of
yeah,
the ads. Have you seen the ads?
I actually haven't. Actually, no, that's untrue. I have seen them. Um, but yeah, that shit works. But yeah, no, I don't know if you can tell because with how good I sound, but
You always kind of sound like this.
no, I've sounded like this my entire life.
Yeah. I don't know if anyone wants to know what Adam looks like. He is a bucket of nails with glasses on. Oh, can you send Nick a link? He's going to join us.
Oh my.
Yeah. Uh, I see the opportunity to do it, but I got to entertain people by drawing stupid pictures. No, they're not stupid. I draw Rembrandtian masterpieces. Don't ever question that, people.
Oh man, speaking of which,
Let me know if you have trouble sending the link. Um,
at the Reich Museum in Amsterdam, they have a ton of beautiful Rembrandt paintings. I did not get to go this time on our trip, but we went the first time, and that place is amazing. I
I
just
hope.
shot him like, do you know what you're gonna draw?
So here I'm gonna bring in some images that I've recently done, which you've seen. Well, actually, I guess yeah,
Oh my gosh, yeah.
you probably have seen them because I post everything because I'm a
Hmm.
whorish for attention. But oh, were you able to, by the way, to send Nick the link?
Oh yeah.
Okay, great. Let me just let him know you sent it through what, email or what?
I just shot him a text
Awesome. Okay, great.
with the streaming link.
So there's a character that I kind of made up. Well, I didn't kind of make up. I made up a character called Watchdog, and he's that one you've seen. Well, that's a working title for him, but he's that one you've
Mm.
seen where he's like he looks like a red version of Black Panther. That's what people keep telling me.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
That was something I originally drew it mostly just for giggles, just and it was just like, oh, how cool would it be if I drew a character that was like a throwback to comics from the '90s?
Yeah.
Um, I'm gonna read a little bit of from the from the chat. Johnny Pearson says, "Let me get my headphones and the smack talk will be obliged." Um, Ultimate Rap Battles. That's an amazing YouTube name. Says, "Once again, I am confronted with my nemesis." I'm assuming he means me, but I have so many
Yeah.
enemies; it's hard to keep track.
It really is. Um,
Adam, this is Johnny Pearson in the chat, who is not 12 years old like Edgar.
oh,
Johnny is 30, and he drinks way too many energy drinks and doesn't get enough sleep. And
oof.
we're all worried about him. We're planning an intervention.
Oh, he wants to call in. I think you got to do that.
Oh shit! I'm sorry. Yeah, yeah. How do I add
Oh,
him?
Nick is Ultimate Rap Battles.
Oh,
Oh my God, the most incredible of plot twists.
Nick, why are you Ultimate Rap Battles? Okay, how do I hold on, everybody? Everybody in chat, please hold on. I know this is not our usual fare. I'm gonna call. How do I call Nick?
Oh gosh.
Nicodemus. Okay.
I think maybe giving him a call on the. Oh gosh, everyone's watching the sausage get made. Uh,
What does he say in the office?
he
He
said
says,
it's an old account with a student of mine. Can't get it to go away.
"I don't know. I don't buy it,
Uh,
Nick."
yeah, a little suspicious.
Okay, so I can add people
Um,
here.
yeah, I was gonna say, just kind of send it the same way I think that you
Got it. Got it.
did for me.
Here it is. Oh my
My
gosh.
goodness,
Okay,
we're just gonna
I sent
be.
him mail and added him.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
Okay, so he'll answer that in a second, I guess. It should join. It should add him, right? It should. Hey guys, we promise that we're super smart people.
Yeah,
Okay.
we do like really big and important stuff all the
Yeah, Adam won an Emmy. Did I mention that?
time.
But I also should mention that he was born with it. That it is not Maybelline. Oh, Edgar. Yes, I should let you know. Edgar is a talented and eager young man. That's how I described him once, and he likes it when I repeat it. Nick, are you able to call in? Please let us know.
Oh, I don't see him in our contributors list yet.
I sent you the email, Nick. Epic Rap Battles of History, whatever your name is. Oh, so anyways, yeah, I drew this character um, just like for fun, and it got this huge response where like it got more likes than any other thing I've ever drawn, which was really
Hmm.
funny to me because it was like I just felt like I just kind of threw it together just to practice a style.
Sure.
And then I was like, oh, maybe this should be like a cool thing. And so now I'm just like, oh, maybe this will be a comic I do one day, is like this he says, you know, I've got bars regardless. You know, because he's a rap battler.
That is how I think of him.
Yeah, I mean, when you can't separate Nick from
No.
aggressive rap music in your head. Oh, someone joined. Nick, is that you? Oh my
Well,
goodness.
Oh
well.
my God.
Nick, your voice is on, but not your face, so you should feel free to pick your nose, let your eyes roll in the
I,
back of your head for the sheer enjoyment of it.
I would pick my nose in front of all these people. You know that. I'm
I
trying to
would pick.
figure out a way that I can watch your drawing at the same time.
Oh, just watch it on YouTube with the sound off
Okay, okay.
if you feel the need to do that.
I feel so inclined.
So
Yeah,
Yeah,
introduce
I had a
yourself
that's
to
why
the
we're
student.
chat,
all.
please.
Hi, I'm Nick. I'm a comic writer and sometimes editor, sometimes letterer, speech therapist. I wear many hats, many pants.
Also the designer
Um,
of Computron.
the designer of Computron. Whoa. Um, but yeah, I'm Ultimate Rap Battles on Google apparently because I had a student that wanted to start that channel, and I think we made one video and it went stellar. It was great.
Oh yeah.
Define stellar in these terms
Um,
that you've laid out.
he loves AI. He loves the possibilities of AI, but he doesn't have a huge grasp on what it takes to make things without AI. So we made an ultimate rap battle with AI. I know that's like sacrosanct in this space, but
Yeah.
yeah, it was a fun time.
People are
I would do it
canceling you
again.
in real time right now.
Oh man, it was only a matter of time.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, with your list of
That I.
transgressions.
For my many crimes.
Sorry, Adam, what were you going to say?
I was gonna say. I think that was less than 5 minutes.
Yeah, it did not take long. Honestly,
Yeah.
if I had to bet on which of us would actually get canceled first, it would probably be me. I feel like I'm the most likely to say something really like to make a joke that's just like not. I don't know. Someone in one of my other streams, a friend of mine who's also an artist, she asked me like, she's like, Ryan, do you worry about that? About like getting canceled? And I was like, I'm not popular enough for that to happen. Like, are you kidding me? I would love to get canceled because it meant I was famous at all. Like that would mean that, like I had a readership. I mean, I do. I have some readers, and I'm very happy for these people, and I love all of you guys, and I'm so glad you're all here. But you also are not enough people to destroy me.
Ryan, I hate to break it to you, but Adam and I are on this call tonight to cancel you.
Yeah.
I did not expect it to be this affectionate. Wow, this is actually the most respectful way you could have
Yeah.
done this.
Yeah. They don't really talk about how affectionate it is, but we're here to make it as sweet as possible.
There's a lot of love behind it.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, we're all here. We're all here to talk to you, Johnny, in the chat about your vigorous consumption of energy drinks. And
You're drinking energy
he
drinks?
drinks them at
Which
like
energy
10 at
drink?
night, and then he drives like 1,000 miles an hour on somewhere in where he lives in Utah, Arkansas. I almost said Parkinson's.
What do you live in like the Akira life where you're just like motorcycling and drinking energy drinks
Yeah,
and turning into a giant monster?
getting super pissed at Tetsuo.
Tetsuo!
So whenever you draw a character like this, and especially in like a ninja crouch, it is so hard to not make the emphasis of his balls comedic. It's just, but you have to show the bulge. Like you have to.
Yeah.
And I think I'm gonna do
Yeah,
like he's gonna be like stooped on like the side of a building, kind of Daredevil esque, and it's gonna be this like
sure.
futuristic city. I wanted to do something that felt kind of like Nick's favorite comic, Spider-Man 2099. Um,
Okay, so let's be clear. My favorite comic is Doom 2099,
oh, I was being
but Spider-Man
sarcastic.
2099 also slaps.
Oh, really? I was actually being sarcastic because I was under the impression that that was not your favorite. Um,
I was
I
gonna
mean,
say you said it
when I
very
say that it
sarcastically.
slaps, like it's it's got a flavor to it. It's not a flavor that I indulge in often, but it is a flavor that I enjoy.
could you
In the same
please?
way that like if I check into a Spawn comic, I'm like, yeah, I know what's gonna go on in this book. And
Yeah,
Peter David's always writing it for some reason. Peter David's been writing Spider-Man 2099 for like 40 years now.
I actually
Hmm.
did not know they were
He'll
still doing issues of
he'll
that.
be writing it in fucking
2099.
2099.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be like when they had Back to the Future Day in New York. Were you there for that?
Oh, at Comic-Con during 2015?
Yeah, because that's like when Back to the Future 2 is based, when they go to the future. Um,
Yeah, I saw a bunch of the McFlys and
oh my
the
God.
skateboards and the
Hilarious.
Doc Browns.
I was in the subway and there were like three like 20 something lesbians dressed as Marty McFly. Like,
And and you were like, "Oh no, you've created a paradox."
yeah, it's like, you guys, you can't be in the same place. I was like, you have to, one of you has to leave.
So we pushed them under the train.
It's where, yeah, that's why I moved to the country. I had to start a new life after that.
He just kept pushing Marty McFly's onto the tracks.
Let me check the chat. Nick, I really hope your ultimate rap battle is like forever. I just think the further your life gets from that, the funnier it becomes.
I'm trying to get rid of that because that was a an account from like 2 years ago. I
Johnny
don't know how
says,
to.
if you take my energy drinks from me, I'll take you down with me.
I believe it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I remember John and we played a gig like in high school, and
Tell everybody who John
this was
is.
like, my friend John. He actually, he is a lifelong musician. Back then, we were mere children, just playing, small town rock and roll gigs and such.
Yeah.
Adam, I
And
didn't know you grew up in a John Mellencamp song.
yeah, I don't. I described that so Norman Rockwell-y.
Yeah.
But I feel like back then that was kind of the advent of energy drinks. Like they were only just kind of we had like Monster was only just a new thing back then, and
Sure.
um, John and I split one of them, and before we had a gig, and I had completely forgotten that I was on this like really crazy powerful decongestant that you weren't supposed to take any drink anything with caffeine, and we just played the like fastest rock and roll set that we had ever played. Just us palpitating on stage for like 15 minutes. We're like, let's never do that
Just playing like a coked up squirrel. Just
again. It's like in do you ever see that movie Walk Hard when
yes.
he John C. Riley like takes cocaine and like accidentally discovers punk rock.
I love that scene
uh,
with Tim Meadows where he's like smoking weed in the back. He's like, you don't want
I don't
any of
want
this.
this.
Yeah, he's like, well, does it make you get
I
really
think I kind of
skinny?
do.
Yeah, he's like, does it make you get like really skinny and emaciated? He's like, no, it makes food incredible. He's like, will it ruin?
I don't want to OD on it. You can't OD on it.
I don't want to get addicted. It's not habit forming. He's like, this sounds pretty good. Yeah, it's great.
Oh, that movie rules. So much better than it has any right to be.
Okay, speaking of movies that rule, I was before this stream began. I was watching Dread, the Carl Urban
Oh,
Oh,
sure.
movie.
sure.
It's free on YouTube, so I suggest everybody who's listening to this, stop what you're doing and watch Dread. Tune me off. If you haven't seen that movie, see it. You know, yes, also, it's funny. I did all this work drawing this guy's nuts, and now they're going to be covered by the tunic that I already designed for him. This is
I thought you were just gonna draw him like hanging dong off the side of this building.
yeah,
It's just like coolly resting on the
yeah.
ledge.
That's how he asserts dominance over crime in the future.
Like, guys, I think I want to go home.
I don't want to do this drug deal anymore. This guy is just—he's making
It's
eye
creeping me
contact and
out.
everything. Um, yeah, what we were talking about? Oh yeah, the Dread.
Dread.
It's you've both seen it? Yes.
Not in a long time.
Yes, well, same. I think I watched it at your mom's house.
You were hanging out with my mom watching Dread.
Yeah, we were just hanging out. You meet her and Kevin. We were watching Dread.
Oh no,
Um,
yeah, I thought you saw it with me and Malka actually,
that sounds about right.
because I think it was it might have been at my mom's place. You might have been over at my place because I think it was like I was trying to get Malka to watch any action movie with me ever, and she really likes like dystopian future science fiction,
That'll
and
do
so I
it.
was like, this has that, but it's also less political than you would like. Like it's not quite as it's not really making a statement about the world and how we
Right.
can prevent that future. It's just like, look at how cool this cop is. and
Yeah.
but she actually kind of got into it. Like I don't think she liked the violence of it, but she was like, because it is a really nihilistically violent movie. But
Yeah.
but she seemed to enjoy it. But yeah, the movie's so good. Like Carl Urban makes such a fantastic Dread. Like
Yeah.
and I love
It
I
is
love.
also a weirdly
Go ahead.
pretty movie with all of the like
Mhm.
crazy slow motion stuff that they do, you know?
Yeah, how they work that into the script of like the whole.
Yeah.
So for anyone watching, I do this now a lot. I flip the images a lot, so that I can see how bad my drawing is at a different angle.
Oh,
And
you could just ask me. I would tell you.
thank you, Nick. I appreciate
No problem.
that. Yeah, it's
I,
like I got into the habit of flipping images when I realized how useful it was for showing inconsistencies in the drawing. It's just like,
are
Does the
you
flipping images? Sorry, go ahead, Adam.
oh no, we're interrupting each other to ask nerdy questions. But I was just gonna ask, like, is that just like a standard like pencil brush that you're using, or
yeah,
is
this
that
is well
something
actually
else?
I'm gonna get you see on the left here these brushes that I'm signaling toward.
Oh yeah.
This
Hmm.
one, second from the bottom, I think is a Japanese pencil brush that no one knows what it's called in America because it's written in Japanese. But yeah, I actually paid for this one because it's really cool. So if I make it really big and thick like that, then it creates this. It has like a nice chalky look, and I don't know, I like it because you can use it for sketching or you can do like really detailed like finished drawings with it. But it just feels
Mm,
good. Like it has a nice look to it, where it feels enough like drawing on paper that it doesn't have that like digital feeling where it's like like
yeah.
you're skating across the thing. Um, but there's another
I'm gonna
piece.
drill down a little bit. Do you use the like paper cover for your iPad or for
No,
your drawing?
no, because I
No.
think I don't like I don't like going too far in that direction because I feel like sometimes people do that thing where they're like, I want to like, it's like when you work that hard to make it not feel like you're working digitally, then it starts to feel kind of dystopian for me. It's like I'd rather just, it's like I think it might matter more to some other people because they're like painters, but because before I did this, I worked on Bristol board, which is already pretty
Hmm.
smooth, so it doesn't feel that different than a screen. Um, and I don't really notice that stuff too much. Like I know some artists, it's really important to them to like feel the scraping, where it feels like a vellum, and it probably is really pleasant to feel that, like where it has that, like you're drawing on rough paper. Like because I do miss that feeling sometimes. But honestly, like
Mm,
it's fine as it is. I don't need much more than that.
yeah. I was gonna ask, do you do much like analog drawing these days, or is it all digital stuff?
Mostly it's digital because I'm getting, there's like so much work that has to be done to earn money that like
Yeah.
the speed of digital is like is and also like I can, if it's all client work, so it's like or it's all work that's going to be commercial work at some point. So it's like I just need to get it to people, and like doing it analog would mean just scanning it. But I do have a sketchbook that I do sketch in when I'm just like chilling out in bed sometimes, because God forbid I stop drawing for 15 goddamn minutes. But yeah, I do that mostly just to make sure because I'm always paranoid that I'm gonna like lose something if I don't work on paper.
Mm.
But
Yeah.
I have found, thankfully, that the improvement in my art over the past few years doing digital has carried over to without really any incident. Um,
Do you ever like when you flip the image?
yeah.
Are you ever like, oh, this is way better. I'm gonna draw it from this perspective. I'm gonna keep going on the flipped image and then flip it back, or do you just flip it for reference?
That's a good question. So for something like this, that's an option because this is a single image cover. If you're
Hmm.
working on a comic, you can't really do that because the story has to flow in a certain direction to make any sense at all. Um,
What are you
Mm.
talking about?
oh yeah, no, sorry guys. Nick doesn't read comics. I don't even know if he knows what they are. See a
Are
comic.
those? Are you talking about like Little Nemo's Adventures in Slumberland?
Yeah, that's that. It's like that, like that. But I don't know if you know this, but they kept doing things like that like 100 years after.
The funny papers are still around.
Oh yeah, they're around. You just got to find them. They're in shops with weirdos who smoke. No, it's
I
actually
fit right into that.
I did
That
meet
sounds too scary for
I
me.
did when I was a personal trainer. I did meet a young woman in her 20s who she was like, "Wait, they still make comics?" I was just like, "I thought that stopped in like the 50s." And like, and I like a little piece of me died because I was working as a boxing coach and like doing comics on the side because that that old chestnut. And I remember she said that, and I just looked at her and I was like, "You've broken my heart," like because it's just like the fact that people don't even know that this medium exists. Like, are you
Did you give
kidding?
her a soft kiss on the forehead and then take her out into a lake and kill her?
Yeah. Oh, well, sorry. There's a lot of millennials in the chat. That's The Godfather. You should watch that. Get off your phones. Get off
Watch
your
The
phones.
Godfather on your phone.
Yeah, it's true. As Coppola intended.
Wait, hold on. Pause. Did anybody in this chat see Megalopolis?
No, but I kind of really want to.
I desperately want to see that garbage fire of a movie.
I know.
I
I want to
watched
see it for all the wrong reasons.
I watched a pitch meeting of it. You know that guy who does the pitch meetings?
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, it's one of the it's because you can tell he like it's incredible. I can't even really like break it down too much, but like he's just the whole pitch meeting is just like, yeah, this movie's gonna make no goddamn sense, and here's why. And he's just like describing. He's like, yeah, so and then after this scene, this other thing happens, and the producer's like, well, why does that happen? He's like, I don't know, shut up. And he's just like, he just keeps going.
I just love a passion project that's like not gonna make sense.
Yeah,
That somebody's been working on for 40 years.
Yep.
There's nothing inherently wrong with that, and sometimes it works, but like,
yeah,
good God,
yeah.
it just
It
seems like it
almost like
doesn't.
never does. Yeah.
Sometimes.
The
I couldn't
marketing
give you a
for it.
specific example, but sometimes.
The marketing for it
Yeah.
was really good. Do you remember the marketing, the trailer?
Yeah.
You do remember it, or what? You have seen
No,
it?
I remember it.
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
The scene of Adam Driver stopping time at the top of the building.
That was the teaser, but then there was another one they did right before the release where they were showing reviews of other Coppola movies and how they were never appreciated in their time,
Oh,
which was really smart. They were like showing, I forgot which Coppola movie. Oh, it was Bram Stoker's Dracula, and they were like people were slamming, and now everybody loves that movie. And they were showing how The Godfather even got some bad reviews when it came out, and like just trying to get you to understand, like, hey, if you're a part of this now, you can say that you were one of the people that appreciated it,
But what about his finest film, Jack?
Oh my God, I forgot that was a Coppola.
That's a Coppola joint.
The one with
The one where Robin Williams ages incredibly quickly.
Oh
Oh
my
my
God.
God.
That was Coppola. You have
That
just
was back when
silenced
Coppola was
us.
trying to pay his bills, bro.
Did he buy a
Wait.
pyramid like Nicolas Cage? Is that why?
No, he spent all of his money trying to make Megalopolis.
Oh, really? So this was actually.
I think so.
These stories connect.
Maybe.
Nick, you just blew my mind with the movie. I like completely erased this movie from my life.
Oh,
How could you forget such a heartwarming tale of a
Holy
5-year-old who looks like
shit.
Robin Williams?
I'm going to read from the chat. Nick Philpott says Ryan loves a good rub. Thanks, Nick.
No problem.
Johnny
Always here
Pearson
for
says the one where Harry Potter was the bad guy in a spaceship. Is that your description of The Godfather? Johnny shows up to these streams just to troll me. I think I actually kind of think he's secretly my ex-girlfriend putting on this whole identity.
I would watch that movie though.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why you're saying that. Like that's not a movie we would all enjoy.
That's the logical next step for Harry Potter.
Yeah, it's like when Jason goes to space.
Yeah, right.
Edgar says, "Dude, I used to love pitch meetings. Yeah, you should definitely." He still makes those. He's made like 200, and they're all bangers. He has compilations now where it's like all of the Marvel movies or all the Harry Potter movies. It's really amazing. Johnny says the actors on The Godfather thought it was shit at the time. Did they really?
Johnny, you don't have to censor yourself, bro. We're all friends here.
Oh no, you do, because then the YouTube won't let it show up in the chat if you curse.
Really?
Yeah. Well,
I used the F word earlier. Did it not show up?
no, yeah, probably didn't.
What?
But maybe if they knew you were Ultimate
Wow.
Rap Battles, they would make room for it. Because what is
Yeah,
that art
maybe.
form without a little swearing?
True. You can't hop in the cipher without a little bit of cursing in your back pocket.
Oh shit! Are you
That's
starting
alright.
now? Are you spitting bars? Was that the beginning?
No. If I was spitting bars, you would know.
Because
We'd all just start foaming at the mouth.
yeah, my face would melt off like Raiders of the Lost Ark, just like liquefy me. Oh
So,
man.
Ryan, tell me, is there a name for this character? I missed that part of the chat.
I actually, Nick, I don't repeat myself. Sorry, I don't like doing it. So you're gonna
That's
have to
legit. That's an artistic statement.
you're gonna have to find that exact part of the stream and watch it, and I'm not gonna tell you where it is. No, it's I was thinking about calling him Watchdog,
Oh, okay.
which
That's a
is
good name.
yeah, thank you. I thought it had a good '90s feel to it, where it's just like it's like he's so tough that he like eats his cornflakes with his elbows out in the morning.
Sure.
But no, yeah, I definitely wanted to go for like a '90s vibe. I wanted it to feel like a a little bit of like I guess I'm nostalgic for it.
Wildcats.
Yeah, I do. Oh my god, I used to love Wildcats. Spartan was my when I was a kid. I had the Wildcats versus Wildcats X-Men team up,
Hmm.
and there's like a trilogy of them.
Oh, nice.
One of them drawn by the excellent Travis Charest,
Love Travis Shure.
and another one drawn by the estimable Adam Hughes, who unsurprisingly, yeah, remember that?
No.
He draws, unsurprisingly, the female members of the group are looking quite sultry and attractive under the hand of Adam.
Shocking.
Yeah, I know. It's pure cheesecake. It's really great, but yeah, it's I mean it's beautiful art. Like it's he's not Travis Charest and Adam Hughes. I can't believe I'm going to say this on here. I because I feel like if they ever meet me, they're going to be like, I heard what you said. Both great illustrators, and I do think their comics are pretty. I think they would both argue they're not necessarily great like action artists.
No, they're great pinup artists for sure.
Yeah, but like their action sequences are usually not what they're known for. I think that would be the best way to put it.
Adam, have you ever checked out any of Alejandro Jodorowsky's comics?
Oh, no, actually.
Travis Shure draws a bunch of them,
Hmm.
and mixed results. He's
Right.
like Ryan was saying, he's a phenomenal draftsman, but like there is a stillness to all of his art that's tough to get around.
Sure. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I feel like we had Ryan and I have had this conversation about like
In bed.
Alex, yeah, just like tussling my hair. But
What you
with
thinking about?
Alex about Alex Ross and
Yes.
like dudes that like really heavily, you can tell that like really kind of rely on the either photo or sculptural reference material that they're using. So like, you know, it they become so good at capturing the thing that they're drawing that they also get the stillness of it too, and that's kind of how you get the like the statuesque kind of like godlike stuff. But like like you said, the pages don't really move quite in the same way as like
But then there's
um
guys like Paulo Rivera that'll like
oh my gosh,
mishmash like four different references together, and you
yeah.
kind of feel the motion on the page, even if it's like gouache or whatever that he's like painting with.
Paulo
That dude's
Rivera is a
phenomenal.
great example of most forms of comic excellence. I think he's very very good. He's like I was in an interview recently. I was talking about someone asked me, it was like a podcast about comics, and they had me on to talk about West Eden back when I was putting that one out for the first time, or that maybe it was when book 2 was
Mhm.
coming out. And they asked me who my influences were, and I mentioned Paulo Rivera, and the guy was really surprised because he was like, "Your style looks nothing like Paulo Rivera," and I was like, "That's also true." But he just something I have to look at his work to remind myself that you don't need to like clutter a page with a billion details in order for it to be good. Because he's
I think
not.
it's also valid to have influences that are not directly represented in your work.
Yeah, no, and
Sure.
I think he knew that. I just think maybe he said that because the other people I mentioned, he was like, "Oh, I can absolutely see that," and that like it was very obvious, like it was like I think it's very obvious. I grew up reading like Jim Lee, X-Men with Chris Claremont, and like the that kind of stuff. And then it's like Paulo Rivera. It's like his style is so smooth, and he has such a subtle hand with like anatomy. Like it never feels like
Mhm.
he's so consistent. Like, and then I said Mobius. They were like, oh yeah, I can see that. Like, the line work and all that to some extent. But yeah, but no,
Nice.
I think Paul Revere is just incredible, and he keeps getting better. Like I think you had said, like his powers grow unchecked. It's just like he's becoming a national threat, is what I'm trying to say, and I don't want to be an
I'm gonna
alarmist.
tell him you said that.
You should. You
I
should.
will.
You
Next
should.
time I see him at a con, I'll be like, "Hey, this artist that I know, Ryan, he thinks that you're a national threat, and you need to be stopped."
And then you're gonna
And then they'll kick me out of the con.
and then you're gonna realize he's been wearing his headphones the whole time. He's like, what? What?
As Nick is being dragged away from the cop by the cop.
Yeah, I had this. I had this really funny image I was thinking about earlier today of because I introduced Adam as an Emmy winner at the beginning of the chat
There,
of the stream.
accurate.
It's true, but I just imagined like that. I pictured Adam at a bus stop. Like I imagined him telling somebody he's an Emmy winner, and then the camera pulls back and he's at a bus stop, and it's a woman on her headphones.
What'd you say?
What was that? Sorry.
Nothing.
He's like hanging out with Olivia Colman and the cast of The Bear and shit.
Oh, you
I
guys saw
wish.
season 3, right?
Yes.
I did.
Tell me your thoughts,
Are we allowed to be spoilery in this conversation?
guys. We're spoiling The Bear. If you don't like it, sign a formal complaint.
GTFO.
Send your hate mail to nickphilpod@gmail.com. Sorry.
Wouldn't be the first time I've gotten hate mail.
Continue, Nick, please. Sorry.
No, I thought it was different from the first two seasons in a lot of ways. A lot slower, a lot more like we're not going to have the traditional act structure of like there's a problem, they have to solve it. There's more like the Ice Chips episode is like a perfect one-act play.
Yes.
It's very much like two-hander, just Jamie Lee Curtis and the actress who plays Shug, who I should know and I don't. But yeah, just a lot of like really interesting character work that it felt good watching it, but then I wanted more out of the season. Like it felt like when The Sopranos split up the last season into 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was that for me. I was like, okay, so this is like the first half of a season.
Yeah. Right.
It needed a second act. I felt like it was like it was like catching you up with all the characters, and then they were like in the climax.
Yeah. And then the finale, that reveal at the very end, I was like, okay, yeah, chase this down. And then they were like, credits roll. I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
I knew they were going to do this.
Yeah, I was, I was really swept up by certainly the first episode. Like, I really loved the looseness of the whole thing and how we were kind of like flying through these moments and just kind of catching these little, tiny things. And it was just really interesting. And I think to try to keep that up over the course of like 25 minutes of an episode or whatever is super ambitious, and it worked. And I did enjoy the most of the rest of the episodes, but the like last 2 episodes of the season, it just really felt to me like they like ran out of steam in a way, like either narratively or otherwise. But like when they were sitting around in the last episode or so, just kind of like waxing poetic around this table, I just found myself just being like waiting for like a point in any of the conversation, or just kind of like, and I understand like there's we kind of like be a fly on the wall in situations, but the rest of the show is so hyper focused on details that when we're not, it just feels like what are we doing here?
For me it was, and I agree to some extent. I actually feel like I got really frustrated with the 3rd season because it's like the second season I thought was pretty good. The first season is like perfect, and then the second season I was like, okay, they're doing something different. I respect that. I'm not enjoying it as much, but I like it. They're trying it. And then we get to the third season, and I remember telling Malka, I was like, "This show is becoming unbearably pretentious." Like
It's
It is
very
very
pretentious.
indulgent.
it's dude,
Yeah.
the amount, especially I was getting so annoyed, and I realize I'm on camera right now, so people can see my physical body language as I talk about this. I was getting
Good.
so annoyed at the amount of times they were showing him looking at his phone, debating whether or not he was going to call his ex. I clocked it. I recorded it to the time. Like I clocked the time. There is a solid minute and 38 seconds where he is staring at his phone and they're playing dramatic music while he's just standing there. And I was like, this is so fucking unnecessary. Like, I get it. I understand he's deliberating whether or not to call her. I was like, you can do that and still have things happen in your show. And I was getting so annoyed by it. I was like, why can you stop doing that? I was like, I get it. Like, I don't need
Yeah.
to, I don't need the camera to be constantly super close up in people's faces so I can see like their bad skin, you know, like I don't,
Their pores.
yeah, it was, and then like, oh, now the camera's out of focus. Now it's back in focus and we're closing in on his eyes, but we were out of focus because we're artists. It's just like, stop.
Yeah.
Like,
I think one of
on.
the things that also frustrated me too, and like you can also say it's like hyper focus is like they kind of forgot that they had as many characters and as quality characters as they did. Like they chose to
Mm.
focus on like the last season. I think we only focus on like four whole characters, really.
Yeah.
Like who I forget the I even forget the dude's name, the pastry chef guy. Like
Marcus.
Marcus. Like I don't think he had like more than like two lines of dialogue the entire
Which is
season.
weird because they had a whole episode about his mom's funeral. Spoiler,
Yeah, and it's just
kids, his
like
mom died.
Yeah. Also,
it's
Darth
just
Vader
like
is Luke's dad. Deal with it.
get over it. But I was just like, there's so much that you could work with there, and they just kind of completely left it up in the air in favor of like the haunting shit that they kept going back and forth to.
Okay, I really like that bit though.
It's funny.
Dude,
It just goes on for a little too long. That's all. But it is funny.
it overstays its welcome a bit. I
It,
love John Cena showing up. Like I
I love
almost
John
wanted him
Cena
to
as a
be there
fat
more.
brother.
Those guys are
Um,
they are funny, but I don't like when it starts to feel like it turns into a different show. Like suddenly I feel like I'm watching like a Judd Apatow series or something. But I think
yeah,
it's small doses. They are funny and they are charming. And I
yeah.
think maybe I found them funnier because I was with Malka, who laughs like a fucking idiot every time they're on because she loves them so much. And that made me like them more because I love her. So seeing her like laugh hysterically, I was like, maybe I'm being a stick in the mud when I find them super annoying.
Look at this guy. He likes to see what his fiance fucking laughs at stuff. What a nerd.
Simp. What's it like to be a
Simp.
beta? I'm going to read the chat real quick because people are talking, and I want to. They're talking to each other a little bit, but I don't know, Johnny. What do you mean by? Do you mean Rick Ross? No, I'm talking about. I was talking
Uh,
about Alex Ross, the artist. Edgar has something funny. He says, "I'm back." He switched accounts. Edgar has two different accounts. He switches between a lot, and I don't know why. And he says, "I'm back on this account. This must be what Superman feels like when he puts on his glasses." That's absolutely probably it. Johnny's just loves the hands. He just keeps talking about my hands. About I guess how I
I think he was talking about the bear's hands.
Edgar says, "What's Star Wars? How dare you? Don't troll us, Edgar. I know you're young, but." Even if you haven't seen the original Star Wars, you've heard people complain about the new Star Wars for sure. He's BRB. I gotta make this DiGiorno pizza out of the oven so I can eat it in one sitting. Absolutely.
I would crush a DiGiorno pizza right now.
I love that Nick is also in the chat. This is awesome.
I'm just trying to be. I'm
Just start
multi-fronted,
trouble.
man.
No, it's cool. I love it. You're like a mod. I don't have a mod yet. I need to get a mod. Johnny, I actually want you to be my mod if a moderator because you're the only person who's consistently in almost all my streams, and I don't want to give that power to Edgar because he's too young and it'll make him corrupt. So
Are you sure it won't corrupt Johnny?
Johnny's already pretty bad. So I think John, nothing can do to Johnny what years of being a freelance artist have already done to him. Info about Johnny. He's a sculptor and he makes like He makes like masks and stuff like that, like for a job.
Oh,
Oh, hell yeah.
It's pretty awesome. He's been
that's
working on
awesome.
one right now that's like a hyena man, like out of the island of Dr. Moreau, and apparently it's very difficult
Ooh.
and it's making him crazy.
Johnny, do you work for like a theater company or for a film company, or are you just making sculptures on your own? Like, what's the deal?
Tell him where you work, Johnny.
Hit us up in the chat. Yeah, give me your dox yourself. Tell me where you work.
I mean, his
Tell us,
profile name is already his full name. So-
tell us where you live and a list of your fears.
and yeah, can you tell us times that you're alone?
What are some thoughts you've had that the FBI might be interested in?
I was watching one of Dave Rapose's old
They
streams.
already know.
One of Dave Rapose's old streams back in like 2005, and this guy for some reason drops a comment, and he's like, "I'm pretty high right now," and then Dave for like 10 minutes in the chat, he kept just trying to freak the guy out. He was like, "Hey, we're in your house right now. Did you check your house?" He's like, "Everybody knows you're high. I'm calling your mom to tell her that her son, who was once a baby, is now a criminal." Like he's just like telling him all. It's great. Early days of YouTube.
That's so good.
Oh man, I visited my mother yesterday, and I showed her. Her and my stepdad had never seen the latest Deadpool movie.
How'd that go?
Well, I warned her ahead of time. I was like, "Mom, that's like, this movie is filthy. The language is absolutely, you will be offended by some of the things that are said, but it is also very entertaining." And she was like, "Well, what am I gonna do? I'm not gonna just leave the room while you watch it." I was like, "All right." And my stepdad loved it, because
And your mom left the room.
she actually fucking loved it. Dude, my mother, for anyone who doesn't know my mother, which is, I hope most people in the chat, she, because if you knew my mom, that'd be weird. She is like a very proper Hispanic Catholic suburban woman who does not like nudity in her movies. If she sees a nipple, she's out. But for some reason, violence is okay. For example, she shocked me the other day when she watched Bone Tomahawk, that Kurt Russell movie about the cannibals. That is a movie that made me look. I'm looking at the camera to emphasize this. That movie made me fucking sick. It is so violent and so.
I hear it's brutal.
It is. They tear a man in half by cutting him from the butt to the head, like upside down.
Oh god.
There's just scenes of them just eating people, and it is a movie that I saw once and I never want to see again. And I remember watching it and being like, I'm not enjoying this, but I need to know how it ends, because we watched Bone Tomahawk. I was like, oh shit, really? He goes, yeah, your mother liked it. I was like, what? He's like, yeah. He's like, you heard me. And he just said nothing else. And then I was like, Mom, you watched Bone Tomahawk? She's like, yeah. She's like, it was a good movie. And I was like, you don't like seeing like boobs in a movie. Like, you get mad if there's a sex scene. And she's like, I know. And I was like, but that movie has like a scene where they're eating a man's leg while they're talking to each other. She was like, yeah. She's like, but it was good. It's a good Western. And I was like, you might be kind of messed up, Mom.
Like, the Catholic Church has a long history of obsession with violence and aversion to nudity.
It is weird. It is odd.
Yeah.
Because I grew up Catholic, and I somewhat Catholic, and like I don't know. I don't know why sex is so scary to them, but not horrific bloodshed. I don't know. It's amazing. It's amazing. Anyway, she liked it, and she enjoyed it, and that made me happy. I just wish she didn't put that movie back in my head, because then I started thinking about it. That movie like still makes me like ugh when I think about it.
Yeah. I've never seen it.
Oh, you don't watch it, Adam.
Same.
It is really good, but it's like one of those movies where it's like, oh, it's a scary movie. It's like, it's not really scary. I mean, it's like not spooky. It's like
Upsetting.
you imagine this happening to somebody, and it just makes you sad. You're like, that person suffered quite a bit. That's like not.
Yeah.
But
Nick, have you seen the new Wolverine movie?
No, you know who has? My younger siblings and my mother.
Holy shit.
Yeah, both my younger siblings, for everybody who's never met me on this chat, have autism. And my sister thinks that violence in movies is hilarious. So I took her to see the new Godzilla movie, Godzilla X Kong, the New Empire. And like, every time there was a dramatic fight scene, she's just cackling with laughter.
That's
And
incredible.
That's
I
amazing.
found out she's recently been on like a horror movie kick, so she's been watching like The Black Phone and Smile and all these new horror movies, and she just thinks they're hysterical.
That's so
And
funny.
um,
I'm gonna be honest with you, Nick. That's pretty fucking based. She can watch a horror movie and laugh at it. I think your sister might be the toughest fucking person I know. That's pretty damn.
which is hilarious because she's like the most bubbly person I know too.
Yeah, but she's hard as hell.
Um,
She's like Stallone as Cobra.
That's so
yeah.
funny.
But so they went to see it one day because they go see movies like once a week. Um, and I kind of warned my mom like, hey, I've heard it's like racy and like a lot of sexually suggestive dialogue, a lot of violence, and she was like, yeah, they're like 30 and 29, like they don't care. So that's where we're at right now.
Which movie was this?
Get it.
Deadpool and Wolverine.
Oh, okay, okay. What did your brother think?
I was gonna say,
I
yeah.
have no idea. He's a man of very few words.
Yeah, he's not as talkative. But I do like when you talked about how you asked your brother why did he want to see the new Justice League movie, and the reasons he was like Superman, Batman. Well, he just named the whole group.
Yeah. He also like my brother has categorized us. So he's like, well, Nick likes Marvel movies and I like DC movies. Which is funny because I don't really like either of them at this point.
I was just
but
gonna ask.
but he wants me to take him to. There's a local Comic Con this weekend. That's yeah, my brother wants to go, and I'm pretty sure he just wants to buy like action figures and stuff.
Hell
So
yeah.
we're gonna do a lot of like comparison shopping, and he likes to do like 3 laps around the expo floor and figure out what he's gonna buy, play with his budget, etc., etc. So last time we were there, he bought like Supergirl DVDs, a Green Lantern action figure, something else, a Superman action figure maybe. He's cool.
Have you see they just casted new Green Lantern stuff?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, as the coach from Friday Night Lights.
Yep.
I don't know
That's
who
a
that is.
solid choice.
Fuck. What's
Kyle
that dude's name?
Chandler.
Kyle
Oh, is he
Chandler.
also the dad from Super 8?
Yes.
Oh my God! Yes, he is.
He plays
Yeah.
a like a disaffected dad in like 6 different movies.
He really
Yeah.
does. Yeah.
He does it in Godzilla King of the Monsters
That's what I was
too.
thinking. Yeah, he plays like the same character of like I'm a loving father, but I'm also a single father, and it stresses me out, and sometimes my reactions are not what I want. It's like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's precisely it. Yeah.
Yeah, he just has
He's
that.
phenomenal in Friday Night Lights though.
Oh sure, no, I think he's a good actor. Um, but
Ryan, I have a question about your drawing.
hit me.
These vertical lines behind Watchdog, are they the building that's going to be behind
Yeah,
him?
I think he's going to be like on a like a part of a building, so that it's going to be like a superstructure. But I'm trying to leave this area here open because I think I'm going to
Yes.
add like the cityscape in the background.
Uh,
But I might take this background of this building and move it like further to the right, so that I can get more of the city behind him. But those are the kind of compositional things you kind of work out as you go because the whole idea being that you want to make sure that he pops the most, like you want to give him the most pop forward possible. And if you add too much detail in the background with lots of like buildings and cool stuff, that it kind of like makes him, it pushes him a little bit too far back, or it like pulls the attention away from the foreground. So if I do put a building behind him, the way I'm planning, I have to keep it like really simple shapes so that it doesn't form like a whole kaleidoscope of nightmarish tangents that just like take the eye off
Sure.
of the main image. Tangents, when
Do
you're
you
a
end
line
up
artist, tangents are like the thing that keep you up at night. Sorry, continue.
Sure. Do you end up manipulating a lot of layers when you do an illustration like this, or is it basically like pencil layer, ink layer?
When I do
Done.
paintings, here, you know what? Can I bring up a painting that I did recently?
Ryan, please bring up a painting that you did recently.
When I do paintings, I tend to do a lot more layers because it just requires that, you know. But when I'm doing comic art, I tend to keep it really simple because, you know,
Keep it simple, stupid. It's the best advice I ever got.
Yeah, well, it hurts my feelings every time. So it's amazing how much like people can quote The Office. It's just crazy. So this is a painting I did recently. It's probably going to be delayed for the video, so you guys may not see it right away. It's like I think the video is like a minute behind or something. So while we catch up with that, I'm going to quickly catch up with the chat. Oh, you guys are talking about Godzilla. That's really cool. Oh yeah, so Nick, I didn't introduce you to Edgar. That's Edgar. He's one of my favorite people. He's a wonderful young man who's in all my chats. He's in all my streams. He's a young artist. You're 12 going on 13, right, Edgar? He's very mature and very precocious and very charming. So he could I didn't realize
he's making his own DiGiorno pizzas. So
he is, yeah. That's a man's work right there. That's not some kid.
Yeah.
Johnny says, my sister pulled out her own child as she was giving birth to it in the hospital.
Wow.
Yeah, giving birth to it. By the way, you'll have to tell me later how to be a moderator. Yeah, I don't know how to do that, Johnny. I was hoping you did. I was hoping those energy drinks gave you some kind of wisdom. Okay, so this is the painting I did for...
I see the painting.
So when I look at all the layers that I have on the right here...
Your picture blocks a lot of the layers.
Oh, here. Oh, whoop, that's a mistake. Here, I got to go up to the video capture layer. I'll move it to the right. And now back over here. Maybe I'll keep it on that side. So it'll take a second for you to see it. But I have one of the layers is, let's see, I don't know what the highest, it has it's like 10 or 15 layers. And that's after I condensed a bunch of them. I try not to do too many layers because some people I've seen painters they'll have like 50 layers like I'm zooming in on the face now, and they'll have like the parts of the face, these highlights, and then the shadows will each be on their own layer, and I'm just like, I'm not going to do that because it's just why would I want to create so many layers that I lose myself completely in the process and I don't know what the hell's happening.
Sure.
The way I did this is I didn't actually stream. I should have streamed it, but it was one of the craziest. It's a method that I just kind of discovered that really works for me to turn because some people paint from volume, right? So with the way that they would do this is that they would just throw the paint on the canvas and then just start painting over it in layers, right? And these shapes, like this armor, these shapes would come together over time. And here, I'm going to move my image back to the other side because I think it's better there. And so for me, what I actually did was I did it just like this. Where is it? This guy. I actually did it as line work first. And then I actually, like on the same layer as the line work, I started painting using the gouache brush in Clip Studio, which has a high blend.
Oh, man.
And then painting literally onto the inks and like smudging the inks with the paint and to turn those lines into shadow. Which is funny because it's very similar to like classic oil painting where you would like paint black oil lines, and that for me is the only way that I've really been able to produce something like this.
You madman.
I know that's a weird method. So I literally did most of the painting in one layer. So all of these layers you're looking at that are created here on the right were after the fact to start creating more textures. Like when you zoom in on the armor, you see those textures, the greens and all that stuff. That's all like clipping masks, which is when you like grip one layer to another. But yeah, it's literally like now I know if I want to do a comic where I fully paint the whole thing, or if I get more commissions doing painting, which I'm getting a couple right now, I'm going to just literally do comic art first and then just start sculpting it into paint. And
nice.
Wow.
I did not invent that method. I stumbled onto it.
How long?
Sorry, go ahead. How long does it take?
I was going to say, yeah.
This was like, let me zoom back out so people can see this whole thing all together was like 2 hours a day for like 4 days, I think. Which someone told me that's really fast, but it felt super long to me because I'm used to working like I'm used to drawing like there's a gun to my head. Like even now, this image that I'm working on, this is like me like going really slow because I'm talking to you guys and I'm hanging out. But like if I was alone, I would probably like, or if I'm doing one of those streams where I check the chat every 5 minutes and I just sit there and draw, like I just like burn through it. I don't know. It's just how and it's not because of like some kind of excellence or anything. It's literally because if I go slower, the drawing doesn't look as good. I've learned that I actually, when I go quickly, there's a lot more energy in my work. So with this painting, I was really careful not to go too long with it because I was like, I know that there's a process where you overpaint it and things start to get less, they just lose their energy. So like the most time I was willing to spend was like here, like when I look at this arm, like I was really happy with the armor and how this like, I know it's hard because you guys are looking at a video delay, but this arm that she has here, you know, you see the stripes on her arm, the like metallic layers. That was me.
Mm-hmm.
That was me taking my time, and then I pulled back and was like, I got to move quickly on this, or I'm gonna like lose the energy of the pose and everything. But
Yeah.
I hope that answered your question.
Yes. I think there's value in that, in the like the immediacy of the work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too.
You start overthinking it, and then you start digging yourself into a hole, and then you're like, well, shit, I've spent 4 hours doing this. I have to make it right. And like,
Yeah, and I think people sometimes, I don't know if other people deal with this, but I think coming from, you know, my personal like background with art is that I have this thing where it's like if something happens really quickly, I'm like, oh, that I must have not done enough work on it. You know, like
Yeah.
like I must be it must be that I'm cutting corners because this was so fast, and then I like find out that
Yeah.
people's reaction to the fast image is like way better sometimes. And so then I was like, okay, I have to keep in mind, like Frank Frazetta, everybody's favorite painter, you know, for good reason, he worked really, really quickly, you know, and like, and ironically, some of that was because he just wanted to go outside and play baseball. I don't know if you've ever heard that.
no, but I
That's
relate.
awesome.
He was such a fucking Chad. He was so awesome. He was like, yeah, I'm gonna paint this masterpiece of Conan the Barbarian, but I want to go quickly because I, you know, the sun's gonna go down soon. I really want to go outside and throw a ball around with my friends. He's like,
Knock a few balls
yeah.
around.
Oh, by the way, also, I'm like the greatest American illustrator ever. Sorry. Whoops. That's me. And he was just such a badass. Like, you know, his Conan paintings, a lot of them, he posed for them himself because he was so like muscular because he was such a dude just out there.
That's the way that I work too.
Yeah, no, I know. I've seen the pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah. He if you guys want to check Nick's social media, he has a one of those link trees, and you can get to his OnlyFans, his Fansly. He mostly sits on cakes. That's kind of his thing.
I like to fart into cakes,
Yeah.
Oof.
like
You
the
gotta
old
pay
cake
extra
farts
for
video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he does it 13 times in a row, and he calls that the baker's dozen.
You have to pay extra for that. That's $10 a month.
That's yeah. The only one that's
Lord,
more expensive than that is
everything.
the one where you get to chat with him once a week, where he'll just private chats.
While I bake the cake.
I was gonna say, yeah, you get to live stream the cake being made.
No, but
I think we're onto something.
yeah, actually, wasn't that a joke that Erin always had with Adam that she wanted you to sit
Oh
on
yeah,
cakes?
she's literally just like 4 days ago was like, because I was wearing shorts and she always comments on my strangely muscular legs despite my very limited exercise. And she constantly says that we're leaving money on the table, not filming me sitting on
It is
cakes.
true. It is true that
You could have your dog living in luxury, bro. And yet you're forcing him into an apartment.
Yeah, I know.
First of all, Adam's dog is absolutely living in luxury. That dog runs that goddamn house. You know how many
I tried
times
to feed him like little Italian cookies before, but he
Yeah.
wasn't taking it.
there was a conversation that you had with us, Adam, where to everyone in the chat, Adam's dog is like, Adam talks about his dog like his dog is a man with a gun in the other room. Adam's like, yeah, I can't play Red Dead Redemption because if my dog sees a horse, he'll go ballistic on and that's like, and then like Adam says this and then he hangs up and I'm talking to Nick and I was like, I feel like I feel like Adam's in an abusive relationship with his dog. Like his dog doesn't let him do things.
It's a good thing that his dog is fucking cute.
It is.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
truly.
is. He is.
Uh,
That's
Yeah,
true.
no. Yeah, it's we haven't watched the new episode of Penguin yet because he doesn't like that either. He doesn't.
he doesn't like Colin Farrell's makeup.
No, that or physical violence. It all upsets him.
He's a
So
pacifist. He's
he
a
really
committed
is.
pacifist.
He's like, can we all just fucking chill out, please? Like,
Yeah.
have you
My
guys watched any of that?
The
no,
penguin?
not yet. My
No.
parents watched the first episode.
It's very good.
Yeah, I've heard it's great. We've been watching spooky movies this season.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's right. What have you seen since
What have we watched? We watched The Conjuring 2. We watched Interview with the Vampire. We watched The Shining.
Excellent.
We watched Trick or Treat.
What's
I
that?
don't know if I know that.
Trick or Treat's a good one. It's like an anthology movie.
I might have seen that actually.
Anna Paquin's in it. She's very attractive. She's playing a werewolf. Spoilers.
That sounds pretty good. I was kind of obsessed with Anna Paquin when I was like a teenager.
Oh yeah.
When she,
Weren't we all, man? She was Rogue.
oh my god, she's so cute in that movie. I remember being like 16 and being like, she's my age. That means I could totally ask her out. Because that's really what
There's
was
a
getting in the way.
chance.
Yeah, that was the only reason I didn't go for
So you're
Rebecca
saying
Romage's
there's a
Staples.
chance. Yeah. What else? We watched we watched Slither today.
Oh, that's a good
Oh,
one.
man.
Yeah,
Yeah. I haven't seen Slither in a minute. Still holds up.
it's funny.
That might be it so far.
Oh, let me check the chat. Let's see. Oh, I'm just rereading Johnny talking about his sister pulling her own child out of herself. That's a story they should film and play every Christmas. Yeah, Edgar says he will be 13 soon. He also says, dude, your wife could have heard that. Could have heard what? Which part? And whose wife? Everybody here is either married or engaged. Edgar, we're old. Nick also everybody please congratulate Nick on his healthy, beautiful young baby. I say young baby as if there's other kinds of babies.
He's a retired baby.
Yeah, his baby's not a retired detective or anything. He's very young.
I have been calling him Detective Baby Legs.
From Rick and Morty.
Yeah. Because he likes to like stomp in his little bassinet all the time.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what are you doing, Detective Baby Legs?
This is
on the
regular
case.
legs. This is your partner. I don't need no partner with regular legs.
So yeah, thank you. He projectile vomited on me earlier. Parenting is the dream.
Amen.
Oh man, but I am a little
Humanity.
jealous of the days where you were childless and I could just vomit on you.
You can still vomit on me, bro.
I don't know, it's hard. He
You
lives.
vomit on me anytime.
He lives in a different state, guys. I can't. I don't have that.
Plenty
kind
of
range.
room on that chest.
There's plenty of room on that shit.
Yeah, I already washed that shirt, bro.
She's ready for round 2.
Adam recently had COVID and
Speaking of projectile vomiting,
and he pooped out probably a few years of his life.
yeah, it felt like the entire known universe came collapsing through my butt.
Yeah.
In the
Oh, you had the neutron star poops.
I was going to call it the Big Bang, but I think that's pretty good too.
It was stretched out over the course of like 3 days.
Oof.
But yeah, I'm so glad that that's over.
Edgar, that's very sweet. Edgar's a really nice person. Edgar, everybody loves you. I hope you know that. He says, I hope your baby.
Edgar, you have a special place in my heart. Although I have to tell you that your name reminds me of the character from Men in Black.
Men in Black, Edgar, is a movie that was made 20 years before you were born, where Will Smith, a man now known for assaulting other people, plays a charismatic young cop who fights aliens.
Assaulting other people, being involved in the cuck chair end of a relationship.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's also starring Tommy Lee Jones. Tommy Lee Jones, Edgar, was a man who worked 20-something years before you were born, and he's known for being a saddlebag with eyes.
Yeah. He was like old for 40 years before Edgar was born.
Yeah, yeah. If you look at pictures of him as a baby, it's like a it's like a pile of action figures that were burnt in a fire, just like in like a Rat
I'm
King.
see I'm seeing that this call is about to end. Or is anybody else
Oh
getting that
dear.
notification?
I have not checked. Let me check. Oh, there's a limit, I guess, to the.
Just call me back. I got
Okay.
another half hour in me.
Mine doesn't say it's about to end. Oh, I had the option to extend the call. Here, let me. It just ended right while I was doing that. This meeting has ended. It's just me alone, guys. I'm sorry. Return to home screen. New meeting. Start an instant meeting. Bear with me, guys, while I add my friends again. Nick and Adam, I have sent the invite. While I wait for them, I'm going to catch up with the chat. Well, that's all. I guess I am caught up. Hey guys, everybody in the chat, thank you guys for being here. I'm having a really good time. I think you'd like Men in Black, Edgar. I think it's a pretty fun movie. I think most people liked it. It was a big hit when it came out, so I definitely think you should. Nick, I sent you the invite. Oh, that's true. Yeah, Edgar, one of the guys in the movie is named Edgar, and the way his wife says his name is really funny. Say, Edgar, your skin's hanging off your bones. your your skin's not hanging off your bones. That character is a giant cockroach. You're far too nice, Edgar. You're far too beloved to be that Edgar. Sorry, everybody. I'm just gonna text them real quick. Edgar says, also, how in the flip freckle flop, that's a real word, was the Batman 2022 rated PG-13? That is shocking. I think it's because a lot of the more super violent parts seem to happen off camera, and also because there's no cursing. I mean, there's nobody drops any F-bombs. That I remember anyway. Welcome back.
I'm gonna see if I can get Nicholas back.
Okay, I sent him an invite. It should be there.
He said he didn't have it in his email. Where the fuck? Oh, here we go. Copy joining info.
Thank you. Thank you for taking care of that.
Of course. Good gravies.
Oh, I hear him.
I believe we are back.
Yeah, so
Huzzah.
next time, Nick, that you see that, let me know, because I just, right as the call got dropped, I saw the option to extend the call. And I guess since I'm the one who made the meeting, it's got to be me who does it. But
Okay.
what were you saying? Someone was talking. One of you was saying something.
Oh, I wasn't saying anything.
Yeah, I don't know.
Edgar says, how in the flip freckle flop was the Batman 2022 rated PG-13?
I don't know. I felt like that movie should have been PG.
Heyo.
Hey, hot take.
Yeah, really? I actually feel like it was pretty. I mean, dark in some ways, but a lot of the violence happens off screen, I guess, in some and
Yeah.
you know, and there's no like cursing or nudity that goes past a certain point.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't really gone back to that movie. I
Yeah,
watched it twice in theaters, and I feel like I got everything out of it.
you watched it twice. It was you, so you liked it then?
Yeah, I thought it was all right. I mean, it was no The Dark Knight, but that was a cultural moment.
It
Oh
was.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It was. I saw it once in theaters, and it was the first Batman movie that I only ever saw once. That was just like that was it.
Edgar wants you to
Interesting.
react to his Discord message.
Okay, everybody, hold on.
Check your Discord.
Oh, I gotta sign into my Discord. You guys get to listen as I type in my Discord. Is this thrilling entertainment for you guys?
Yeah, now I'm gonna know your password because I'll recognize the keystrokes.
Yeah, I know that. I forgot that about you. I don't know
A
if you guys
sweet
know
little
this,
clip.
but Nick is a super detective from a cheap ABC show. They can do things like that.
It's a moderately expensive ABC show.
Oh, cool. Edgar said, I got home really, really nice trip to an hour or two.
Such a funny transition.
After I got home, I did some arm studies. I hope you like it. So here, you know what I'm going to do? Edgar, I'm going to screen cap this, and I'm going to talk about it right now on the stream, and we're going to do a quick critique, okay? Is that all right with you? I'm assuming that's what you want?
It's
Arm
fucking
studies.
Yeah. So Nick and Adam, you haven't seen this probably, but every now and then somebody will send me their comic art, and I'll like talk about what works and yada yada, and what doesn't, like
Oh, cool.
where they can improve.
Love it.
And Edgar is doing really well these days. He's learning really quickly. He's very into like line work and stuff. So here's what I'm looking at is Edgar's. This looks like a very superhero bicep. This could easily be like Wolverine or any of those guys. So
I'm still waiting for the video to catch up.
yeah, it's going to be like a 30-second delay or so.
Jesus, Ryan, get your shit together.
No, it's just always like that. It's nothing I can
Brian,
do.
you got to really pick it up.
Okay.
You're not gonna like Nick when he's mad.
I know.
You've got a lot of cross hatching. I like it.
Yeah, no, it's and he's doing it, and his cross hatching, his like, so Edgar's line work has really improved because he used to do, his lines were a little bit too like indiscriminate in the beginning, where it was like he would get like line happy, and then like I think the note that I gave you last time, Edgar, was that you should think of lines as describing the volume of an object, so you want to be careful where you put them, and you want to think of negative space as a part of the work, like the empty space between the lines is a part of the composition, so it's good to have those open spaces. So looking at this arm, your anatomy's not bad. Like this is pretty good. I think you are emphasizing certain things a little too much. So what I'll do is I'll draw another version of it next to it. Here, let me go for a smaller pencil. So you've got the deltoids here, and you've got them really pronounced. You got these big shapes where they're kind of looks like they're stacked on top of the bicep underneath it. Here, let me go with a red pencil for this. You got them almost stacked on top of the bicep, where you want to feel like they're meshing. The body has this natural, even if you're super obscenely muscular, the body kind of it should, everything should feel like it's working in Congress, right? So it should end and let the bicep begin at the curve of the arm, because you don't want the arm to look like it's made of 1,000 marshmallows or anything, And,
Like mine.
Yeah, like Adam has marshmallow arms in that they're delicious, they're sweet, and the ingredients are a little mysterious.
And incredibly pale.
He also hit very white.
My only thought looking at this is like,
you got to work out.
I don't know anatomy like Ryan does. It feels like there's an extra muscle in the shoulder there.
Yeah. Well, so those do exist. Sorry, I don't want to cut you off. Go ahead.
Those exist? Okay.
They do exist.
I'm thinking of like there's a sketch painting or something at the Cincinnati Art Museum, that it's like Hercules, but he's got extra muscles for dramatic effect.
Yeah.
That I think you could lean into that, but yeah, I'm impressed with the proportions and the line work on the glove. This looks good.
Yeah, I agree. The line work on the glove is good because he's got these nice. It's creating a sense of a shine, like a leathery feel by having those gaps.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing is, so you have this tricep here, right? And you're really hitting that hard, like it's really flexed. And most people, even really muscular guys, when they're flexing the bicep in this way, when they're contracting here, the tricep kind of relaxes. So you want to still show that there's a tricep there and that it's strong. So you use the contour for that, right? You use the outer line to show that's there. Here, I'll go thinner for this. And so, because it's
Hey,
not. Sorry.
I'm gonna hop off, dudes. I'm sorry to jump off in the middle of a critique, but
No, that's cool, man.
parenthood calls.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Go be a dad. We
Thank
love
you
you.
for having me on, Edgar. Keeping on. We love to see new artists pop up.
We do.
Yeah, it has been wonderful chatting with you guys. Love everybody.
Nick, I love
as
you
well,
so
my
much,
friend.
and I'm so glad you're here, and I hope you have a good night, free of vomit.
Fingers crossed. Take
Mine
care,
too.
broskies.
Later, man.
Take it easy, bud.
Just to wrap this up, so you can show the tricep a little bit, Edgar, like that, but you don't want to go full flex because then it just looks like there's no discriminate sense of where the tension is in the arm. And the bicep is, it's looks good. Again, you want to show the muscle. There's a little bit of an overlap because you're looking at it from a certain perspective, but you don't want to feel like all the muscles are so packed together. Try strength, lengthening it out. These three areas do exist, right? These three segments of the deltoid, the front, center, and rear deltoid, all they do exist, but typically one of them is they're one shape. It's one curved. It's an ovular kind of spherical shape with little striations in it. You don't want to think of it as three separate cannolis stacked. God, now I want a cannoli. So when
yeah, and my brain went to the same place.
dude, I had a cheat meal last night because I've been avoiding gluten for weeks, and I just got donuts and eating a donut alone on a street corner in my little mountain town while my fiance is out of the state for a little bit was like the loneliest and also most satisfying thing.
I was gonna say, yeah, you flew so close to the sun. What kind of donuts were they?
Oh well, they were chocolate with sprinkles. One, the other was chocolate glaze, and then they had a Boston cream, and I had all three.
Boston cream.
And I ate them in the rain. Because
in the rain.
Yeah, it was. I was like a sad Paul Simon song.
Did it affect the structural integrity of the donuts?
No. I was under cover of. I couldn't even wait to leave the store. I ate it underneath the rain. The story. Every note of the story makes it sadder. I was like. I just was craving donuts, and Dunkin' Donuts was closed. But I know that the Stewart's shop down the street makes their own donuts. And
they're probably even better.
They are actually really good. Stewart's. Are you familiar with Stewart's? You don't have them, I know, in the city.
Like Stewart's root beer.
They might make root beer too, but the Stewart's gas stations. Let me quickly. I'm sorry, Edgar. Let me wrap this up. He's like waiting. So what I would just say is the line work is great. I think you're doing really well with the volume. I just see what I'm doing here. You just don't want to. These areas where the muscles meet, you kind of want to soften the lines a little bit to show, because there's skin on top of them, so they kind of mesh into each other. There's like a softness there. And this is, this is my comparison. Just kind of not a comparison. What do you call it? This is my sketch over to show you, points of emphasis. And but this looks good. I think your hands, the fact that you're drawing hands, and most people are avoiding them all the time. And I love this area right here. The way that you did this, Edgar, this nice little forearm bump looks really good. It actually makes me think of Chris Samney, the way that he has those muscles pop.
Oh, yeah.
The way he'll do that. And it's I love the shape of this line. You have this nice arrowhead that tapers. So keep that up. It looks really good.
Yeah, I like
Go on. Yeah.
the negative space in the knuckles too. It creates like a nice highlight along the hand.
I agree. Yeah. It's
And
like,
you had
sorry,
said
go on.
something earlier too about negative space, and I remember like kind of an aha moment when I was like, drawing much more regularly. But realizing that like an eraser wasn't necessarily, I wasn't like removing something from my work as much as like I was additionally drawing with an eraser as much as I was like
Hmm.
drawing with any other tool. So like, it kind of it challenged you to think of it in a different way. So
Yeah.
that could enable you to make any number of decisions that kind of play with the darks and the lights.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. And it's really good that you're thinking of, I think here's what I learned doing this painting, the Hedestra painting that I just showed you guys. Like, I'm learning painting, I'm learning how to paint digitally still. I'm like, I'm getting better, but I feel like I have a lot to learn. But I also realized that my improvement was happening. It's felt like it was happening quickly. And I think it's because having a background in drawing is so useful for like
oh
every
my god,
other thing that
literally everything. Yeah,
it's crazy how useful that found. I was talking with Dan about it. I was having lunch with dinner with Dan Warren, and he was talking about how he actually wants to take like a year off from painting and just draw because he
yeah,
notices that his paintings take him longer than he would like, and he thinks it's because he doesn't have that, like he doesn't feel comfortable with his sketches, like he doesn't have that foundation. And
yeah.
and he's like, yeah, I think it'd be,
Perishable.
yeah, it is a perishable skill, and you can lose it if you just paint, without doing an undersketch
Yeah,
or So yeah, I highly recommend that anyone watching this, even if you just want to do like D&D illustration, like get good at drawing because it makes painting so much easier. And like learning how to draw with like, because there's artists who are, doing really well and like are very popular, and they will talk about how they absolutely hate doing line work and they don't want to do it. And it's just really funny because they'll talk to me and they'll be like, oh man, like, and this is someone who like, is published a million times over as an
sure.
illustrator. And then and I remember talking to, I won't say his name, but somebody who's like very, very good. But he was like, yeah, I can't do that. I can't do line work like that. And I was like, really? Like I was shocked because
Mm,
I assumed that this was like level one, that anybody who's painting as beautifully as this guy's painting could do this. But apparently it's just a
sure.
very different way of looking at things. And yeah, yeah, there's something to think about. I might change the sword that he carries. And here's why.
Mm,
I think I made it a katana because I was just kind of not thinking about it when I initially did this. Um, and it does feel like, I mean, like here's another image of it, right? So it does feel like it's like everybody puts a katana in the guy. You know what I mean? Like everybody loves katanas,
yeah,
and I'm like, oh,
right.
there's a delay, so you'll see this image that I'm showing now, guys, is another image of Watchdog that I painted earlier. Well, I painted, I penciled, inked it, and then colored it earlier this week.
Yeah, it all means the same thing.
Yeah, there it is. Now it's popping up on the stream. Um, and
Excuse me.
the katana. I mean, it does. I don't know. It does look nice. I do like it. But have you seen this one, Adam? Have we?
Yeah, it's got a certain speed to it, you know? Oh, I
Yeah,
love this piece. Yeah, I saw you had posted this the other day, and I was deeply curious as to who these characters were.
I added a rim light to Watchdog on the left. Oh, yeah. So these are like, I kind of wanted to do like a buddy action comedy about these two superheroes in like a dystopian future, like Blade Runner kind of city. Um, I thought that might be fun. I don't know.
No, I love it. No, and the dramatic lighting on it is really awesome. And the like soft glow on his like wrist and elbows is really quite nice.
Thank you. I am obsessed with that shit. I,
Yeah.
I,
No, it works.
I don't want to say I use it as a crutch, but I kind of use it as a crutch where like every time I do colors, I'm like, okay, I darken the image, I build up some of the lights, and then I add a rim light. And then it's like every time I'm like, oh man, nobody's ready for this rim
Yeah.
light, but it's like and so okay, and
Yeah.
you see this little effect. I love doing this. So this is something once I started doing my own colors. You see how there's a little bit of a glow to it.
Oh
So
yeah.
I add a rim light like this, like a really stark highlight, and then
Mm.
I just kind of duplicate the layer, and then the one on top I use a blur to smudge it, and then it turns into like it
Oh
look
sure.
so it gets that kind of blown out lights, like a Spielbergian look to it. I love that.
Oh
It's
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
that little
It's
bit of
like some Caravaggio shit.
yeah, or even just like a cinematic feel where it makes you think of old movies where they have that like Vaseline on the screen, you know. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's like that's how I do colors. Whenever I do my own colors, it just a lot of it looks like that. And it's interesting
Yeah. No.
working on Black Marrow because so much of that book is in shadow that like I was like, oh, there's some scenes of this where I actually can't do that. Um,
Sure.
so it actually like forced me to like grow as an artist, and you know.
No, I like the softness that you have on just the overall anatomy. Like he feels both of them feel very solid. Like you can feel the weight of them. Very well,
Thanks, man.
and not like beating over the head with it. Like it feels very natural
Yeah.
in their
Thank you.
in taking up space.
I find that when I work using Procreate, um, it's a lot easier to get that feeling. Like right now, I'm working
Yeah.
on Clip Studio, and as much as I like Clip, it's like I always struggle with feeling like the characters are a little floaty, like they're not sitting in space how I want. Although
Hmm. Interesting.
today it's doing okay. This is not fighting me so
Yeah, I was
much.
gonna say this is very good.
Thank you. I'm a little insecure about how I do stuff on clips sometimes because I'm always like, is this actually the image I wanted, or is it just good enough for me to say that it's you know?
No, it looks great. But like, is there any benefit in like starting in like one program and then bringing it into another, or do you usually like just kind of stick to one and finish something in the
Oh,
same thing?
that's a great question. I actually often switch between the apps for different things.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you save, so if you can save these images, you see, I keep redoing this line over and over because it's not how I want it to be. You can save the things as a PSD file, and
Oh, beautiful.
then just it'll transfer between all the apps easily without any problem. But I
Oh
find
yeah.
I find that if the only reason that I don't use Procreate for like possibly everything is because you can't use it on a desktop. So I can't really, I can stream with it if I use certain apps on the iPad, but there's so many problems with those apps that and the people in my chat know this because I complain about it quite a bit. Um, is that like it's just like the camo app that you use to stream from the iPad is just it's just so many problems. Like
Yeah.
it'll drop the stream that happens like once every 3 streams or something, or
Yeah.
or
That's
like
annoying.
I can't the sound output is weird, so like I can't because when I'm here like when I'm doing this stuff I'll like have music in the background and I can't moderate the music volume with camo. It doesn't work for some reason, so everything is just blasting, so I
Sure.
have to pause the music to talk to people, and it just comes across as like hilarious. But if it wasn't for that, if they figure that out ever, then I would just use
Yeah.
Procreate all the time because it is so easy and fluid. Um, it's just amazing. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. I've even used Procreate on something I did for NBC like 2 years ago.
Oh yeah. So anyone who doesn't know, Adam does design and what do you say, like graphic design and video editing for NBC, right?
I did a lot of like still design, like social stuff and some logo-y branding stuff for them a couple years ago, and I've been with ABC for the last like 2 years or so,
Okay. Yeah.
doing motion graphics with them.
Hmm.
But with NBC, there was I ultimately didn't get picked, which was a bummer, but that's kind of how it works. Is like they'll position the team with whatever projects are available. And there was a Trevor Noah documentary about um, January 6th, and how um, different audiences were kind of inherently looking at things and taking away different information from them. So, like watching the same video footage and news footage and kind of gleaning different things from them. So I um, I was like, oh, that sounds like a Rorschach test.
Hmm.
So I made using Procreate. I did the mirrored what is it, like the X axis or whatever, so I was able to mirror both sides to create that kind of Rorschach mirrored effect,
Oh,
and
cool.
grabbed just some like really blotty inky brushes and stuff and painted out a like Rorschach test that looked like the Capitol building, since it is symmetrical. So I was able to kind of create a Capitol building with
Mm-hmm.
people yelling and stuff, but it was all very blotty and inky. And as someone who doesn't um, draw do as nearly as comfortably as you do, Procreate made it extraordinarily easy to just like
Yeah.
put that together and make it look really good.
It's so intuitive. Isn't it so intuitive? It
It
just,
really is, like, I especially as an artist, like watercolor, like
yeah.
it seems so scary to me. But
That's so funny.
so but to be able to approach it digitally was just like kind of a walk in the park. It was awesome.
It's so funny how
So yeah,
people are scared
Procreate
of
rules.
watercolor. It's so interesting to me because I find watercolor to be so much less threatening than like oils and acrylics and all that stuff.
Sure.
I don't know what it
Is
is.
it because you have to like move quickly with watercolor
Probably.
versus like
Yeah.
you could take your time on a on an oil painting?
Well, it's also, to be honest, the way that I use watercolor is very simple. Like it's just like because I do line work. So pen and ink and watercolor is like a nice thing because then you just do a lot of heavy lifting with the inks, and then the line art is just
Right.
kind of like and then the color is just kind of like a layer of like soft wash over it, which
Sure.
puts the image in like in a state of finish. But yeah, no, I love that, man. If I could do, I've actually, it's been a dream for years to do like a whole book that way in watercolor.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. No, that would be beautiful.
I would love that.
I'm sure there's a way you could even like if you had, even if you did all of your line work digitally, to print that out, on like a transparency or something,
Oh,
you could
sure.
then sort of like,
Yeah.
you know, paint underneath it on
Well,
watercolor and
there's artists
scan
who
that
do
in
that.
separately.
There's a few comic artists who do that when they do. I know that forgot his name, but there's an artist who worked for DC who did that, and it was like the idea being that he wanted to, excuse me, he wanted to he saved the inks on a separate layer, a separate image, so that he could sell them separately from the watercolor finish.
Oh, wow. That's
And
interesting.
oh, you've read Dark Knight Returns?
Oh, yeah.
That's watercolor.
Is it really?
Yeah, if you actually look at it
Oh,
again,
I guess that does make
yeah,
sense.
you'll see it
Yeah.
now. You'll be
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, it totally is watercolor. Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
I know Klaus inked it, um, and I think he drew some of it, and I think he might be the one who painted it. But anyone in the chat who knows, any of you comic fiends can let me know. Um,
Klaus, Willem Dafoe's character from Life Aquatic.
exactly, exactly. That I always thought of you two as my dads. Please don't let them make fun of me for saying so. I can't guarantee you that, Klaus is.
Uh, Willem Dafoe is just a national treasure.
Yeah, no, there's a really funny meme of Willem Dafoe in that movie, like when he just because he looks great in that movie. He looks so like shimmering and healthy, and
Yeah.
it's him crouching on the dock, looking happy with his little red cap, and it says, and then next to it is an image of him from like some movie where he's lost in the wilderness and he just looks like terrifying. And someone said me after a month of dieting, and it's Willem Dafoe, and then it's like me after 2 months of dieting, and it's like Willem Dafoe, the other thing, where he just looks like hell.
That's so funny. Oh my goodness.
There was a really good one
He's
during
just
COVID.
incredible.
Sorry, what was that?
He's just incredible.
Yeah, I can't wait to see him in the new Nosferatu. Him playing Van
Oh my
Helsing.
gosh, I know.
You never
He
read
just looks excellent.
Dracula, right? The Bram Stoker novel.
No, no.
I cannot wait to see Willem Dafoe play Van Helsing. Like that
Yeah.
character
I mean,
is,
every frame of that trailer looks excellent.
yeah, it's really, yeah, it is excellent. That's a good way. It's just the cinematography and everything. But yeah, the character in the book, he's so fascinating. The character of Van Helsing, not the one that Hugh Jackman plays in that movie, um,
Yeah.
which
Like
was,
actual Van Helsing.
yeah, it's the whole idea is that he's a doctor of rare diseases, I believe, and
Mhm.
he's been like using his knowledge as a doctor to anticipate the arrival of Dracula, because he knows that
Oh
there's something
wow.
happening, and so he's always like, when he finally finds that like Dracula is coming, that he's like already shown himself through the victims that he has, who have people turned into vampires. Like Van Helsing has this whole great part of the in the Coppola Dracula movie when Anthony Hopkins plays him brilliantly, but he starts getting really excited, like he comes across as a madman, because he's like, it is the foe I have pursued all my life. He's like, finally, a chance to confront the great evil. And he's like dancing around and shit. And it's just like, oh, because this is like his whole life has been just like, he can't wait to
Yeah,
face
chasing this.
yeah, this phantom, and it's
Oh
like
my gosh.
proof that it's
Oh,
real and that
this
he's.
is gonna be so good.
And the director was talking about how he wanted to interpret Van Helsing, and he said a vampire killing psychopath, like a madman. And I was like, fuck yes! I was like, show me that man.
Oh, let's go. Yeah, and let Willem Dafoe play the shit out of
Yeah.
it.
Like that is such good
Oh my
casting.
gosh.
Like who else could you even want
Yeah,
to try that? You know,
I know. It just sounds so good.
and
Oy vey.
Scar.
I regrettably do have to hit the dusty road, but
Oh yeah,
this was so much fun, my friend.
yeah. This was great, man. I'm actually gonna sign off too because I gotta eat something and lie down in bed and go. um. So
This is actually one of the first times in since coming back from vacation that I have been awake beyond 9 p.m. So I this is exciting for a lot of
yeah,
reasons.
you forgot what the world was like
But
at this time.
I know I'm like it's so dark out.
Did you see what Edgar said?
But
Edgar says, "Oh, you're old people memes."
your old people memes.
Edgar,
It'll
Edgar,
happen to you too.
Edgar, Edgar, go to bed. It's past your bedtime.
That's so funny.
No, listen, man, I love
Oh
you.
boy.
I want you to sleep well. God bless you. I'm glad you came back from your trip safe and sound. Let's do this again sometime.
Thanks so much, man.
And do
Absolutely.
you want
Love
to
you too. And
address the chat? You want to tell them anything about where they can find you?
oh, sure. You can see all of my artwork on my website, adamcatrone.com. And yeah, I've got a bunch of prints and even a bunch of my comic work that I've done with you
Yeah,
on there as well.
Adam was my colorist for many
So
years.
yeah, that's how I got a lot of my very early start doing stuff for we both did doing concept artwork and
Yeah,
comics and print stuff and yeah, it's all there. But yeah, no, this was tremendous fun, and we got to get the band back together and do this all over again.
absolutely. To everyone in the chat, I'm going to sign off with you, Adam. Everyone in the chat, we love you. Good night. This was a blast. And guys, drop comments. Let me know if you want to see more more of this type of format where I call in hooligans with whom I used to commit crime to talk about nonsense. And yeah, good night. God bless you. Make sure you get plenty of protein.
Good night and